Hello, everyone. We thought today we would make a video for you in light of the announcement that you made this past Sunday in all of our services. Do you remember that announcement that you made?
Sunday was a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
But yes, I certainly remember the announcement.
Okay. So we thought we would take some time today and do a Q&A just to answer some questions about how this all came about and try to do our best to give you as much information as we can as up to this point in time and say, hey, this is what we know as of right now. Things might change a little bit, but we wanted to just answer some questions because it's important to hear it from the person who is actually a part of the decision making.
You wanted to say horse's mouth.
I did want to say horse's mouth, but
I knew it.
But I didn't let it come out of my mouth. So we're going to ask some questions and recognizing that you've been at Broadway for 35 years. Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah, I guess.
No, it really is. And because of that, there was a lot that went into this decision, and we just wanted to kind of get some questions asked to you and allow you to speak and just let people hear from you. Is that good?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
So we have a two-part question for you to begin with, which is, what was it that made you decide this was the right time? And then secondly, what went into the process of making that decision? And we're saying the decision is to step away as the lead pastor at Broadway and into a different role. Okay?
Right. So, first of all, I think every pastor, every minister, every preacher needs to see himself as interim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you should never look at any situation that this is permanent. And when I came to Broadway in 1988, I never said to the Lord, well, I'll stay here for X number of years. I just figured the Lord would kind of tap me on the shoulder because he tapped me on the shoulder to come here. And I just kind of sensed the Lord would lead the process of stepping away at the right time. And so actually this has been something that's been a back burner issue for me for several years and kind of got moved to the front burner maybe a year and a half ago. And actually began meeting with a couple of people in the church that I trust, that we talked through this whole process, and then eventually the eldership came into the discussion. We went through some material. We read a book about pastoral succession, and because it is a big deal, because people know me, and as I've said many times, to know me is to love me, right?
Yes. Deep love, deep love.
But listen, there's a lot of emotion that is involved in a decision like this, because it's not like stepping away maybe from a lot of secular jobs.
Yeah. Because
in many ways, as a pastor, your identity is tied up in what you do, right? But I'm more than what I do. And so in any event, I felt that this was probably the right time for me to maybe not withdraw completely, but to step back a little ways. And by the way, in case you don't know this, I'm thrilled to know that the guy that's sitting to my left, your right, is my successor. He will be assuming the mantle of lead pastor starting in May. There's one thing you should be looking out for. I just want to tell you this.
Okay. I appreciate that.
If you ever came into my office right now, it's tidy, it's organized, it's neat. And I'm going to take a picture about 2 weeks after J.K. assumes that office, because it'll never look this good again as it does right now. I'm just kidding about that.
I probably won't meet with anybody in that office.
So the process, honestly, the process of making this decision was much discussion, much prayer, and just the Lord's leading. And I feel good about it. I feel it's the right timing for me. I feel it's the right timing for the church. The church is in a good place. We're doing some good things, and some really great things are in the future. And I'm glad you're going to be helming all of that. And so I'm glad for this.
Now, also a part of the process is that you and the elders together went and hired an outside consulting agency to walk you through this process as well. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, we felt that we really wanted to do this the right way because, listen, after this length of time, and I understand that a lengthy ministry like mine can have sort of an aftermath, of people being hurt or whatever. And listen, I'm glad to tell you that we've really tried to, as the leadership, tried to approach this in the best possible way. It's been so much discussion, so much prayer. We've talked about this almost ad nauseum for a year.
Yeah.
And this consultant that we hired really kind of helped us think through the whole process. In fact, we will continue with this person in a consulting basis for the foreseeable future to make sure that the transition continues to be smooth.
Right. Yeah. So, some of these questions that we were going to ask you answer a little bit, but you're going to stay on at BCC. I think that's really important that you hear that. That you're
Some may be dismayed, but happy, sad, I don't know.
Yeah, mostly, I think very happy that you're going to stay on. And as the transition for stepping away and into a different role comes, when the day comes, what's going to happen, and then what do we know about your role right now?
Okay, all right, good question.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand off the baton to you in May.
Yeah.
One of the Sundays of May is we've kind of earmarked then that basically that'll be my last time to be here in the lead pastor role, and then I'm going to take some months off. And the elders and I have agreed to come back this fall, and I'll be in a limited capacity. I'll be doing some teaching and other ministry activities as required. And I'm excited for that I get to be a part of this, because I love this church, and I love you guys, and I love JK, and I love the staff. There's not much not to love. So I'll be here for the foreseeable future, just away for a short time, and then come back, and I'm excited about that too.
Yeah. So one of the things that was in consideration was, okay, you're going to step into a different role. How would that look then on the staff? And so talk a little bit about what the elders with you decided in relationship to bringing on another staff member.
I want you to know, before I answer that question, what an outstanding leader John has been. Really, he's been doing a lot of the leading for the last few years. And it's been obvious that he has the gift of leadership to me and to the eldership, and which is one of the reasons why they've called him to be the new lead pastor. But we also recognize that we want some younger people, some young blood on the teaching team. So we're right now involved in a search process to bring on a teaching associate. That will be a full-time. I'll be part-time. This other person would be full-time. We don't know who that is yet. We haven't really established the parameters. The search process really just is beginning now. But we would hope that within the next several months, and I can't even put a timetable on it, that we will have another person on board who will be, well, frankly, a lot younger than you. At least he better be. At least I hope he looks younger than you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate.
Sorry about that. I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
So that's in the offing. We'll have a teaching pastor, and he'll have other duties as well, of course, but he will be doing a lot of the presenting on Sundays.
Yeah. So we're going to have a teaching pastor come on, and again, that search, like you said, is in the process, and we're not sure how long it will take, but we want to do our due diligence, and we also, as much as we hired a consultant agency to walk through the process of the transition, we also have that same company helping us with the search.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit to that?
Okay. Well, the Slingshot Group is the name of the company, and this is what they do. I mean, they cast a wide net across the country and will vet a lot of potential candidates, prospective pastors, and we'll be able to interview these different fellas and see which one makes the best fit and makes the most sense for us. So it might be several months before, as I mentioned before, that actually happens. But eventually we'll bring another person on staff that hopefully the congregation will come to know and to love. And respect his teaching and his ministry.
Yeah, we've really been, and I know you know this, but it's a blessing to be here because everybody is so supportive of the ministry. And extreme amount of encouragement, maybe too much encouragement, if that can be such a thing.
If that's possible.
All right. So it kind of talked a little bit about some of the details of what's happening to the point that we know as of right now. So in just as you're looking over the next 3 months and then beyond that, what do you see as some of the keys for a successful transition in the next 3 months and then beyond?
Well, I think I'll speak to the congregation about
Yeah,
this
I think
because
you should.
you're as much the key to this successful transition as anyone. I've worked alongside you since 2001.
Long time.
You took a brief hiatus. You thought you could become a cop,
Yes.
and
Thank you.
and you recognized that you really wanted to be in ministry more than anything else, and so we gladly welcomed you back.
Yep.
So we've worked together well over 20 years,
Yep.
and I have every confidence in the world that John Klundt is the right guy for this position, number one, and I want the congregation to embrace that.
Yeah.
And when I return from my sabbatical, my time away, I want you to know, and I want the church to know, that I'm going to be your biggest advocate and supporter, and your cheerleader. And so I think every source I've said says the outgoing pastor is the key to a successful transition. So you need to know, and you need to hear from me, that I am thrilled with this decision and thrilled that John will carry out the DNA of this church that's been established to be a church that plants churches and a church that has a heart for this community.
Yeah.
In fact, this also needs to be said. We're doing a lot of things around here right now, but what the core of what we do and the core of who we are is not going to change in any way with you in the lead role.
Yeah.
We will continue to have classic and modern services. Not many churches do that successfully, and we've been doing it now for well over 20 years also.
At least.
And we'll continue our community outreach through the New Hope Community Center. So those ministries, classic, modern, New Hope Community, which is really the identity of this church, and church planting, will go on unabated, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's a great word, unabated.
Thank you very much.
So the other, I want to say, we really do believe that one of the major keys, and that's so true what you said, but also just really making everything just a great matter of prayer in the days to come, because we know it's going to take a lot of that to do this. But we believe not just you or me, but way beyond us, that Broadway is going to flourish into the future, and we're excited about that.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that needs to be said is, I don't own this church. You don't own this church. Nobody owns this church because it's God's church. And when we just recognize that people come, people go, pastors come, pastors go.
Yeah.
And it happens. And this is a natural thing that's taking place. John, I can remember the day when I'd go to preachers' meetings and I was the youngest guy in the room.
Sure.
And I thought, these old guys don't know a thing.
Yeah.
That was my arrogance, and my ignorance. But you move through the seasons of life as I'm doing right now, and I'm thrilled for the future because I know that God holds the future for this church.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we want to say is, in relationship to all the discussion about the transition over the past year and a half, we've really maintained a great sense of planning forward for the future as well, and not just focusing on the transition, but hey, what are we excited about? And you mentioned the commitment to the classic and the modern, which speaks to why we're doing an AV upgrade out in the classic building, and are excited about that. We're excited to see church plants happen in the future.
For sure.
We're excited about the ministry that happens here, and the new things that are going to be going on. And we are excited, and recognizing it's a different season for us, but
the future is pregnant with potential.
Yeah.
You like that?
I love it.
Okay, thank you.
I love all your words. There you go. All right. Well, hey, I think that's been beneficial. I thank you for taking a look and listen.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I want everybody to know plainly and clearly from me that this was my idea.
Oh yeah.
That no one came to me and said, "Hey, it's time you stepped away." Maybe some people have felt that and thought that.
No,
they've never had the guts to say it to me.
No.
So this is the Lord prompting me to make this decision, because I was the one who came to the elders. The elders didn't come to me and say, "Hey, we need you to do this."
Yeah.
And so the fact that I'm staying on, I think, would probably give testimony to that.
Yeah. And I want to say one more thing, and then we're going to close out, is the reason we feel confident about the future is because of the foundation that you have been a part of for the past 35 years and the blessing that that is for this church. And we're excited about that. It's going to be great. But it wouldn't happen without that. And so you've been a blessing to this church and to so many people. And we're going to find ways in the next couple of months to honor John appropriately. We'll have a lot of fun with it. And
Boy.
yeah, it's going to be good times.
Now I'm nervous. I take it all back. I'm not leaving.
We're gonna have some good times in the near future, and the blessing of it all is you're gonna be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us, and we'll keep you up to date on we know new information. Thank you.